Hello guys, welcome back. It's yet another day, another time. Let's try to do or to make some difference. Now today, I want us to tackle something and to ask ourselves some very serious questions. And to start with, our brothers and sisters will be doing their final exam, that's KCP and KCSE, in like 2-3 weeks to come. And from my personal view, from me myself, I wish them all the best. I wish them luck and everything that pertains to it. Now, when we try to ask about this KCP issue or KCSE issue, are these exams preparing our kids adequately for the future challenges or what's ahead of them? And my question is, or my answer to that question is a no. And this is the reason why. For a very long time, there's nothing has happened to do with to improve and to evolve our education system, and we have been testing the same things since time immemorial, which for me makes this education system obsolete to some extent, because whatever we are testing them is not really relevant to what's ahead of them or what the future has for them. So my plea is, how best can we make our education system to cope, or how can we manage our education system to cope with what is ahead of our children, for that matter? And the reason why I'm saying this is, for the past few years, we have experienced a very dramatic and drastic change in the education or the technological system. We are having so much changes and improvements in how the communication, transport, you're talking about healthcare and everything, how we do business, how we travel. There's been so many changes or so many improvements in the other sectors, and the only thing that is still stagnant is our education system. I don't know why we can't try to merge it with the current trends and whatever is happening around us right now, and which is to some extent is a disadvantage to those children, because when they get out of this place, whatever they were taught is different from what is happening, which is very, very disappointing sometimes. And we ought to prepare this kid for something better and to cope with that happening. Right now, some of the careers they are studying or they will be studying, by the time they're out of school, those careers will no longer be there. And the most important thing is, how best can we avert such changes or avert such problems to them? Because there's nothing as bad as finding that whatever you study is no longer there, and you have to go back to school to study something else or different thing, or to update whatever you have studied to cope or in order to fit in the market. And for me, let's tackle this issue in this way. Right now, technology is taking over the world. Let's prepare ourselves and our children for what is ahead of us in this way. Most of the kids don't know what technology is. The same education system or the curriculum has got nothing to do with the technology. Very little is studies or talked about technology. In fact, technology is not allowed in school to some extent. There's some schools who don't allow phones or computers of any sort. And we need to change this, guys, because there are so many things which are changing the world right now, and it is very important if our kids can learn such things to be prepared for what they need to tackle in future. But if we keep ourselves doing the same things over and over again, expecting some different results, that is very, very wrong. And let's try to cope with what is happening in this world. I will give you some examples which I've known. Right now, technology has changed how we do things, from how we're traveling and all sorts of things. For instance, there are some changes in retail sector, and recently Amazon introduced something known as Amazon Go. Amazon Go is a service whereby it's a store whereby it's a self-service store whereby you go, you do your shopping, and you get out. There's no cashier, there's no what. You log in through, when you enter, you log in through what's called Amazon Go app, and you do your shopping and everything. Then you go, there's no cashier, there's no nothing, and you go. Now tell me, for those people working in the retail sector, how safe is your job right now, considering the fact that some things will be changed as time goes or in the future? Suppose Amazon tries to come to Kenya, for example, and set up a self-service store like that. We won't have so much employment. So how can we prepare ourselves for such things? The best thing we can do that is developing some softwares and apps. It is so sad because most of the kids don't know what an app is, what a software is, and whatever. And it's time we get to teach them these things to get prepared for the same. Now we have revolutionized now we think because recently Resolution Insurance came up with what's called travel insurance, and the whole thing is online. You don't have to come in touch with a person for you to get a policy on that. All you do, you just buy the policy over the internet and you pay through PayPal or M-Pesa, and they send you the policy through email. You can print it and present it to where you want to present it. Maybe you want to travel somewhere, they were asking you at the embassy for you to process the visa, and things are really changing. So for those people who usually do insurance sales and everything, suppose everything's trying to go online, you get a policy online and everything, where will your jobs be? Again, right now there are so many what you call virtual assistants. Virtual assistants are those services and softwares whereby you use voice command. Instead of typing like Google, you used to type something and then you search it through Google and whatever. There are so many voice command apps out there, and the most major ones, we have the Amazon Alexa, we have Google Home or Google Assistant, we have Apple Siri, and recently Microsoft came up with theirs. For instance, what is this? And we call it Cortana, Microsoft Cortana. And they're really helping us. Instead of doing something or typing or anything, you just command them and they help you. For instance, I will tell you a simple example to do with the Google Assistant. And I will do it, it's very easy. I will show you right now. Let me show you. Hey Google, what's the date today?
It is Tuesday, the 9th of October 2018.
Thank you. Now, those are some of the services which are out there, and they are really helping us. How best are we preparing our kids for such things, to develop more of these things and to come up with better ones, if this is the kind of education system we are still having? So have that in mind, keep that thought, and I believe it's time we change our education system for the better. Thank you for your time, and I will see you next time.